Imagine this. You open your laptop tomorrow morning, and half your workday is already done by a team you never hired. Meetings summarized, tasks scheduled, emails drafted, dashboards updated, and the strangest part? None of it happened in your calendar. It happened between your tools. Right now, there's a new class of AI websites quietly acting less like apps and more like invisible teammates. They don't just answer prompts. They orchestrate your workday. They click, type, listen, and decide. Welcome to FutureTech World TV, where we explore how AI is quietly rewiring the way serious people work. Tonight, we're diving into 10 AI-native websites that, together, feel like a shadow operations team for your life. A workflow brain, a browser pilot, a calendar strategist, a meeting chief of staff, and more. And yes, this really is about those insane AI websites you wish you'd found sooner, but we're going to treat them as a system, not a list of shiny toys. Stay with me till the end. By the last minute, you'll see how these 10 tools stack into a real operations backbone, and what can go wrong if you trust them too fast. If you work with projects, clients, teams, or even a personal side hustle, whether you're an engineer, a founder, or just someone trying to stay employable in an automated world, understanding this new AI stack is going to change how you think about your next few years. Because this isn't about fun AI apps. It's about whether your future workday is powered by a shadow team of agents or by your own manual clicks. Right now is the first moment in history when a browser tab can act more like a colleague than a website. That's why this matters. Let's start with the brain of the operation. First, Zapier, the veteran that turned into an AI orchestration layer. For years, people used it to connect basic triggers and actions. But today, it sits on top of more than 8,000 apps, and it's teaching AI to move through them. Zapier's AI steps, and agents can sit inside multi-step workflows, drafting responses, enriching leads, summarizing documents, and then pushing everything into your CRM, help desk, or HR system. You're not forced to babysit every step. Teams use it for patterns like leads come in, AI qualifies them, the data gets enriched, the right rep is notified, and the CRM gets updated. Some teams even describe Zapier as the easiest place to let AI do real work inside their stack. Not just a chatbot, a routing brain. But Zapier isn't alone. Second, right beside it, you have N8N, the open, flexible automation engine for people who want more control. N8N gives technical teams a visual canvas with AI nodes, thousands of possible workflows, and the option to self-host. It leans into security and governance, SOC 2 compliance, role-based access control, encrypted data, so enterprises can keep this new automation layer close instead of scattering it across random SaaS accounts. Where Zapier feels like plug in and go, N8N feels like build the exact automation system your company needs. One customer on their site says, there's almost nothing they can't automate with it. Third is Gumloop, the marketers and operators twist on this same idea. Gumloop is a no-code AI workflow builder with over 100 native nodes and an AI router that makes decisions mid-flow. Marketers use it to automate SEO research, scraping, content drafting, and outbound sequences. Almost like training a junior specialist, but on a canvas. Their own messaging hints at it. If you can teach a junior SEO, you can probably teach their AI flows to do the same pattern. Together, Zapier, N8N, and Gumloop form your automation brain. The part of the shadow team that moves data between tools, calls APIs, and lets AI make decisions along the way. As you hear the rest of this stack, keep one real workflow from your own week in the back of your mind. Now, here's where it gets interesting. And you're probably already wondering how far this can go. Because some teams aren't satisfied with a single AI in the middle. They want multiple agents working together. Fourth, that's where Questflow comes in. Questflow is built around multi-agent orchestration. Instead of one big model doing everything, it coordinates a network of smaller AI agents, each with a role, and executes their work on-chain. There's even an AI agent economy framing. Agents can be rewarded for completing tasks, with execution recorded transparently. Teams use it for workflows like complex research, DeFi monitoring, or long customer journeys, where one agent might watch data, another decides what to do, and a third executes the action. It's like turning your automation layer into a small digital company. But all of this still lives inside APIs and backends. What about the tools that can actually touch your screen? Fifth, enter Workbeaver, the show-and-tell worker. Instead of wiring integrations, you literally demonstrate a task once, clicking through dashboards, typing into fields, moving files, navigating legacy systems. Workbeaver watches, learns, and then repeats that workflow on your desktop or browser. It's real computer control, not just API calls. You can imagine the scenarios. Back-office teams manually updating ancient HR tools, exporting reports, uploading spreadsheets to web portals that may never get a modern API. Workbeaver steps in as a kind of RPA lighty with an AI brain. They emphasize end-to-end encryption and zero-knowledge security, meaning, in their framing, even they can't see your data. But the reality is simple. Any tool that watches your screen and clicks for you is seeing everything you see. That's powerful and slightly terrifying. And then, on the front line of your workday, there's an entirely new creature, the Agentic browser. Sixth, Opera Neon positions itself as an AI-first browser built around tasks, cards, and a simple word, do. Instead of you manually opening 15 tabs, copying text into a chatbot, and then copy-pasting results back, Neon lets you define reusable cards, like comparison tables, summary engines, or research flows. You trigger a task, and Neon actually works through real websites for you. Clicking, reading, summarizing, transforming, it starts to feel like a browser that doesn't just show you the internet, it works across the internet on your behalf. Product comparison research, contract reviews, structured notes from web-based calls, all become repeatable workflows instead of one-off marathons. Part of me looks at that and quietly thinks, if this is version 1, what does version 5 look like? So we've got the workflow brain, the screen-level hands, and the Agentic browser. But your time and attention are still finite. Seventh, that's where Motion steps in, the calendar and task strategist. Motion wraps tasks, projects, docs, and meetings into one AI-driven workplace. Instead of you dragging time blocks around, it auto-prioritizes your tasks, schedules them into your calendar, shifts meetings, and protects deep work windows when new fires appear. For teams across time zones or tight SLAs, it becomes a kind of executive assistant for the entire schedule. Who does what, when, and what gets pushed if a critical meeting lands in the middle of your day? Around the same time, a different line of attack is emerging. Not one app to rule them all, but a cross-app assistant that floats over everything. Eighth, that's the idea behind Superhuman's new suite and Superhuman Go. Superhuman Go doesn't just sit in your inbox. It connects with over 100 tools, from email and docs to project trackers and chat platforms. It acts as an assistant that understands who you're writing to, what you're working on, and what's already happened across your stack. It can summarize threads, propose replies, surface past notes or decisions, and coordinate simple scheduling, all while staying aware of the bigger picture of your work. Commentary frames this as the next leap beyond simple draft my email. AI, agents that understand who, what, and when in your workflow. You're probably thinking, okay, that sounds powerful, but where does all this context come from? Ninth, that's where memory tools like Mem join the team. Mem is an AI-first notes and knowledge hub. It pulls in your notes, web clips, and fragments of conversations, then turns them into searchable, context-aware memory. Instead of wondering where that one idea from last quarter went, you ask natural questions. And Mem surfaces related notes, decisions, and snippets. Founders use it to track strategy. Researchers use it to organize sources. Managers use it to recall who said what in which meeting months ago. It's less a notebook and more a thinking partner that remembers everything you fed it. Speaking of meetings, one of the most painful, noisy parts of modern work, there's a 10th and final dedicated agent for that too, Proactor AI. Proactor acts like a proactive meeting chief of staff. It can join calls, transcribe in real time, suggest actions, and track tasks across sessions. Imagine walking out of a call and already having a summary, a list of action items, and follow-ups connected to your other tools. No more scrambling through half-finished notes. For lectures, interviews, or complex recurring meetings, Proactor becomes the layer that turns raw conversation into structured work. At this point, we've quietly assembled a full shadow operations stack. Zapier, N8N, Gumloop, and Questflow as the workflow and multi-agent brain. Workbeaver and Opera Neon as the hands and eyes in your browser and desktop. Motion as the time and priority strategist. Superhuman Go as the cross-app assistant for communication. Mem as the long-term memory. Proactor as the meeting layer that turns talk into tasks. Together, they sketch the outline of a workday where you orchestrate, and a network of AI systems does the clicking. Now here's the twist. The future of work might not be one perfect AI assistant. It might be this: a stack of specialized agents each owning one part of your operations. But there's a catch. Several, actually. Because in the real world, AI agents fail. Workbeaver can click the wrong button. A Zapier or an N8N flow can misroute a lead because an LLM misunderstood an email. A Neon task can scrape the wrong data when a website silently changes its layout. Practitioners in forums and blogs keep repeating the same pattern. Most AI automations look amazing in demos. Only a subset are reliable enough for real production work. When you start chaining AI steps, external APIs, and screen-level automation, you also grow the blast radius. A tiny change upstream, an updated UI, a new rate limit, a slightly different email format, can break the entire chain. So start mentally marking the parts of your own systems where a silent failure would actually hurt. Security and privacy are another fault line. Workbeaver emphasizes encryption and a zero-knowledge stance, but any tool that sees your screen can, by definition, see confidential data. Agentic browsers raise similar questions. If your browser is doing the work, what exactly is being logged, where is it processed, and who has access? N8N tries to answer this with self-hosting, enterprise controls, and governance features like approvals and logging. It's a sign that serious organizations don't just need clever agents. They need guardrails, audit trails, and human-in-the-loop checkpoints. Then there's the governance of the agents themselves. Multi-agent platforms and agent stores raise new questions. Who audits these agents? How do you know a third-party agent is safe to let loose on your production data? What happens when hundreds of pre-built agents compete to run parts of your business logic? And under all of this sits a quiet problem: vendor lock-in. Every platform creates its own language. Zaps, N8N workflows, Gumloop flows, motion projects, superhuman setups, neon cards. Once you build a serious system on top of one of them, migrating feels like rewriting your company's nervous system from scratch. On top of that, pricing and usage caps differ wildly, and they change. Most of these tools mix free, trial, and paid options in different ways. But plans and free tiers don't stay the same forever, so it's always worth checking their official sites for the latest details before you commit serious workflows to them. So what do you actually do with that? Here's the simple pattern emerging from early success stories. The teams seeing real productivity gains aren't handing everything to agents. They're picking a few high-leverage workflows, like lead qualification, support triage, recurring research, meeting follow-ups, and they're building carefully scoped systems around them. Zapier or N8N moves the data. Gumloop or Questflow makes the decisions in the middle. Neon or Workbeaver handles the parts of the process that live in stubborn interfaces. Motion protects the time. Superhuman, Mem, and Proactor make sure communication, memory, and meetings don't fall apart. And critically, they keep humans in the loop where mistakes are expensive. It makes you wonder, are we designing these systems, or are they slowly designing the way we work? I'll be honest, a small part of me is fascinated, and another part is quietly uncomfortable with how quickly this is becoming normal. So let me ask you something. If you had this full stack watching your calendars, your browser, your notes, your meetings, would you trust it to act without your supervision? And if you already do some of this, how has it changed your day? I'd love to see those stories in the comments. Because somewhere between the hype and the horror stories, there's a quieter reality. Agentic AI Orchestration platforms and these insane AI websites are slowly becoming an invisible operations team around serious work. If you're still here at this point, your brain is clearly wired for systems and patterns. This channel was built for people like you. In a few years, most organizations won't ask, should we use AI at work? They'll ask, what does our automation stack look like? Which agents do we trust with which responsibilities? And who owns the governance when something goes wrong? The tools we've walked through tonight are an early glimpse of that future. They're messy, they're powerful, and they're not going away. Seriously, I appreciate you staying till the end. Thanks for watching. If you want to stay ahead in AI and tech, subscribe and turn on the bell notifications for more insights, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. The future belongs to those who build with AI and who stay in control of how it runs their work. If you revisit this breakdown later, you'll probably notice new patterns in how these tools fit together that you didn't catch on the first listen. Watch how this idea connects to everything we're building next. And maybe, just maybe, the next pulse you feel in your workday won't be from your inbox, but from a quiet signal humming between your tools.